let's start with the first case study, which is changing the claim element. So what is changing the claim element? So we change that claim element which is not novel. The novelty, how do we determine that the particular claim element is not novel? We determine that it is not novel based on the file wrapper analysis. So we analyze the file wrapper and we identify that which claim element seems to be the novelty of the patent. And also, like, the main objective of performing the directed prosecution is so that we have higher chances of creating mappings in future. So that is the main agenda of the directed prosecution. So how is the directed prosecution performed by changing the element? We'll go through this case study. It will be very clear after that. So in this, the claim was basically performed by the server side. The server was creating a data volume group which included multiple storage volumes. Then the snapshot of the data volume group was required. So a backup copy was being created of the data volume group. And before creating the snapshot, all the input output operations that were being performed to the storage volumes were paused. And after that, the snapshot capture command was paused. So this was the claim that a snapshot of the data volume group was required. So we looked for the product documentation in it. What we identified? We identified that there's a volume group which is having multiple boot volumes. So you can clearly see the first claim element is here, the create data volume group, including storage volumes. Snapshot of the data volume group is captured. So here you can clearly see it's mentioned volume group backup. So backup is being created, snapshot is being created. But the one limitation here comes up that it says online no downtime. So it means that the IO operations are not being paused. And so this is the limitation. So considering this, what we thought that we should directly prosecute it, because also we have in our mind that capturing the state information is more important. Capturing the storage volume group is more important rather than the pausing of the IO operations. Also, we know that after researching the market, we know that the hot swappable technology is having its own benefits. So what's the need to pause the IO operations? Considering this, the first step was to look whether it is a novel element or not. So we looked for the file wrapper analysis and we searched like what is the novelty of this particular claim. So we identified the pausing of the IO operations was not the novel element. It was not the novel element. The novel element was that we need to create the data volume group snapshot together. So the next step was to look for the specification support, whether the specification supports it or not. So in the specification, it was clearly mentioned that whether a unified snapshot or a transient is sought. So there are two types of snapshot: unified or transient. A unified snapshot is a snapshot that is initiated while a storage volume is in a non-transient state, which may be while IO operations are ceased to the storage volume. So this unified snapshot is what the claim is claiming. Another thing it says, a transient snapshot, however, may be initiated while data is read from or written to the storage volume. So it means that the spec clearly says that pausing of the IO operations is not an important element. And also since the spec says, the product documentation also says, so we were having the leverage to draft new claims. So we suggested that we remove this element, we change this element, and instead of it, we add wherein the snapshot can be transient or unified. So this way, the entire claim can be mapped to volume group if the claim is granted in future. So this way, a future case is mapped to is considered as a fundamental case in future. Also, like so here we were having in the Arsh just mentioned in the previous slides that intent was also there in the product. The claim scope was this particular element was not added, which is the transient snapshot. It was not added in the claim, so it was covered in the spec, and the action was that we changed the claim element. So this is how the first scenario is met.